And for those who are joining us, this conversation is really about just getting better understanding of the real estate landscape in all terms. You guys are investing in real estate. I know people are interested in investing, so I wanted to bring you on because I think what you're doing is very, very much important, one, but also two, it's like a lot of people think about it, a lot of people talk about it, but you guys are actually doing it. So, I would love to jump in and kind of get a little bit of your story on how you got to this point, or maybe you could just tell us what you're up to these days, and we can start from there.
Okay. Yeah. How we got into it, it kind of just happened. We weren't really planning on getting into real estate. It just started with an idea. We were looking at vacation homes out in Corolla, and I used to vacation there every year, and we're like, oh, this would be like a great opportunity to get a vacation home, and down the road you have family come, and like something like that. But we learned very quickly it's more of a liability right now. So
yeah, to add to that, like when we were breaking down the cost of those homes and seeing how much business it brings, like we're talking, what we were looking at was bringing like $87,000. I was like, what is going on here? And then at the end of it, we would have to pay like $5,000 if we were going to rent it out throughout the year. We would have to pay $5,000 at the end of it to stay at it for like 1 week, maybe even off season. So we thought it was a great idea to have this. Maybe down the road we can have it, and then we'll have our family vacation home. And then, starting doing research and running into like, the people who are in real estate calling that an alligator property and negative cash flow. And I was like, is this a bad idea? Absolutely. Why, spend $5,000 a year when you can be making $5,000 a year? So that kind of opened our eyes. When Casey was like, no, let's stay with it. That shiny object, which is cool, right? Have a place to go, another second home. But, then we were like, no, like, why don't we let's produce income, build up to that one day. Mm-hmm. And then that'd be nice to have that later in our life. But then from there, we just started researching, reading, a lot of YouTube videos. It's all out there, man. I mean, we didn't pay for any course or anything like that.
Bigger Pockets.
Right.
That was like one of our biggest eye-openers.
Yeah, Bigger Pockets, YouTube. I followed a bunch of people and just listening, their journey and their experiences and just basic education of real estate, and just all comes together. And, we really thought this would be really good for us. And, we sacrificed, things in our life. We had to change our lifestyle a little bit. I certainly work a lot to save every dollar we can to keep investing in real estate. So yeah, I mean, that's how we kind of got into it. And, we're really excited to just keep moving forward with this. And we're absolutely blessed that in just this all started Christmas break, going to our family's house, like, oh yeah, we telling our parents like, oh, we want to fix and flip homes. And they're like, okay, everyone's doing that. And, I was like, yeah, but we didn't really know what that actually meant. But now, not even a year later, 11 months later, 2 homes under contract, new constructions in Florida. So definitely a blessing. Absolutely.
First, I want to say congratulations, because that's amazing that you have your second property. And, you guys went from, you made the decision that you didn't want the shiny object, just like the vacation rental, essentially. Mm-hmm. And you really went for the cash producing asset, which is the rental property. But you also mentioned doing a flip. So are you guys currently doing a flip, or what was your first deal? Walk us through that.
So the first that flip, that was just an idea. Like, why don't we be one of these people on HGTV
and just do these like fix and flips? But then we learned really fast. It wasn't really our niche.
Yeah.
We were trying to explore, like, stick to one method and just produce in that kind of outlet. And we learned very fast, like it was too demanding for the time. We're very limited for time right now.
Right.
And the fix and flips was too demanding for us right now.
Right. And now we're not very, I mean, I'm not handy, and I don't expect my wife to do all of that. So it's just not something that was realistic for us, and maybe just a little too risky for our liking as well. Even though, you know, people are very successful with that, all power to them. But we knew we wanted to get into single family homes. And, you know, so, you know, going to the first property, how we landed on the first deal, through one of the resources, Rent to Retirement, definitely a great resource for anyone who wants to get into kind of turnkey properties, which are properties that are ready, available. I mean, literally, that's where the term comes, turnkey, rent ready, fully renovated homes. They were offering this new construction opportunity in Cape Coral, Florida. And
I'm sorry, back up real quick. Say that resource name one more time.
Yeah, rent to retirement.
Rent to retirement. I'm going to add that in comments for anyone. And that's a website, or is that like a community?
Yes, that's a website. They also on YouTube. They just started their own podcast and education. They give out about two videos a week. It's very resourceful as well. So that's where we landed our first deal. We got into a new construction, 10% down in Cape Coral, Florida. And, you know, for those who don't, know Florida, it's, you know, one of the top migration states out there right now. Down there in Southwest Florida is absolutely booming, from all the way from like Tampa down to Sarasota, and Cape Coral kind of floats right around in between those two cities. And also there's a development there. What caught our attention is that there's a development there, multi-million-dollar project with luxury residency, restaurants, shops, marinas. There's a bunch of golf courses around there. It's an A-class neighborhood as well. So we were thinking, and also because of the pandemic, this is an opportunity to get into a 4-bedroom, 3-bath home. And down there, they're in such high demand for 4-bedroom homes, because now everyone's working from home and they want that extra room where they can make that into their office. So we knew, like, the numbers make sense here.
Mm-hmm. The location was beautiful.
Right.
A lot of room for growth.
Right. This is definitely an opportunity that we need to jump on and be able to get into the property for 10% down. And then also the highlight of it is just the built-in equity into that property. I mean, you're buying the property for, X, and then you have, we're walking into tens of thousands of dollars of equity that, you can either let sit there, let it sit, or, you can
multiply.
Right. Put your equity to work.
Put that equity to another property.
So just so I get a better understanding, so you went out and like sought out these properties, or was it like all in one kind of platform that search them?
So just on the first one?
Mm-hmm, yeah. Yeah.
So it's all through Rent to Retirement. Personally, I've never been to Cape Coral. So all I know is that it's booming. It's a great, and then, you can look up and it's good. That's exactly what it's going to tell you. It's a hot market. It's a beautiful little area. They have, they're now building in the northwest end of it, which is, a lot of vacant land. So there's just so much room for growth. But going back to your question, Rent to Retirement, they walk you through the process to tell you, what's going to go on. We had to close on that property. So they sent you up with the lender. You got to get pre-approved. Then they start, getting you through the process, connecting with the builder, signing the contract, get to the closing table, you close on the property. All right. So you already know who your builder is. You had your realtor that Rent to Retirement hooked you up with, which is just an investment group. And then now we're in the process of just waiting for the house to be built. I mean, so much building there. We closed in July. They just got like the access to submit our permits in like early October. And from there, for like Lee County, that's the county in Florida it's in, it takes anywhere 60 to 120 days to close. So it is a long process, but the fact that it's new construction, you don't have to worry about maintenance. It's a brand, you know, I explained this in our post, you know, you don't have to worry about maintenance. You don't have to worry about really all that vacancy. I mean, the rental properties are like on the market for not even a week there. I mean, they go up and they come down. So, you know, people typically stay in new construction homes for at least 3 years. So imagine no vacancy for 3 years. That sounds great. And these new construction homes come with 10-year structural warranty, 2-year mechanical, and then 1 year anything that goes wrong within that property that's covered under the builder's warranty. So it's just a good start where like you have a, you know, we have a good asset, not going to be a lot of negative marks on it in regards to vacancy and maintenance. And that's going to help us start building up our reserves more than what we have right now. So
yeah, it's definitely a deal that was the safest option for us, just getting our feet wet. And same thing for the Palm Bay townhome. It's just super safe. Not much can go wrong. And we want to like build up our confidence first too, because there's a lot of fear going into this too. You know, what could go wrong? There's always the what ifs. So these properties gave us like the sense of security that starting off, you know, we have not much to worry about.
Right.
So I just want to kind of build out a little bit of a distinction here, because normally people think, okay, I want to rent a house or I want to buy an investment property. So I got to go out and find a house, maybe in my local area. I got to purchase the house. Then I got to put the house on the market for rent. And then I got to lease it out or whatever. And what you guys, the process you're doing is completely different, because you're working with a third party group that's actually curating the builder, the realtor, like all these different parts together in order for this brand new construction to go up. And then once it's constructed, you're the homeowners. And then your plan to rent it out after it's built?
Yes, after it's built, and we adhere to our second home rider. I'm not going to get too much into that. You know, I'll definitely explain it to anyone who's curious about that, and you will. But we are going to rent that out completely, hand it over to, you know, a property manager, and yeah, we make it an asset.
Yeah, rent-to-retirement just basically gives you the pro forma.
Yeah.
It gives you the location, great location. It kind of feeds it to you, and then you just work from there, and they basically do the bulk of everything.
Right. And but we're going to be vetting our own property managers. Those are the ones who are going to be running our that property. And other than that, you know, we're done with the realtor. That, you know, that's not going to be our realtor, but definitely, you know, investing out of state, you definitely need to have the right boots on the ground to make it work, because we're not going to manage it in Charleston, South Carolina, and this property is 7 hours away. So you just need reliable, reputable people who are going to be, you know, running your asset.
Yeah. And so, so rent to retirement. So once the house is built, do they also potentially handle the management of the property too, or is it more so they setting you up with the contractor?
They will refer us to a property manager, but like they set us up with the builder, so that's done. So next step is, once this house is built, they will try to set us up with their property manager, but we're going to be doing our own research and picking out our own property manager, because the property manager, I mean, that will make and break your deal. I mean, from what I read and researched, you want someone who really cares about you as a client, cares about your home as an asset, and they're vetting their tenants correctly and putting the right people in your property, and making sure, you know, that their system and processes are best for you.
Got it. I mean, I'm fascinated by this, because I actually didn't know that this is the route that you guys were going, and I think it's really fascinating too, because it just adds to the, like, so many different ways people can get started, and having a rent to retire group to kind of help you along the way is almost like that. Like for you guys as being, you know, like new investors, how much was it? Like, how helpful was it to go this route?
That,
I'd say so far, because right now we're implementing another route, and so far the run to retirement was very smooth sailing, little to no efforts put into it. You still have to do your own research and make sure that the numbers make sense. But now that we're implementing something else, we're kind of seeing the pros and cons of what you have to put into it.
Yeah. So like rent to retirement, very helpful. They're there to talk to you. They're there to coach you. They're definitely newbie and friendly. So it's definitely, good to utilize them if you're interested in what they have to offer. But right now, yeah, like Casey said, our next project is actually implementing the BRRRR, the buy, rehab, rent, refinance, and the repeat process. And we just vetted our our realtor, who's going to be our deal finder. And, that's what, we're really
mad. It's a process.
Yeah, it's definitely a process.
Yeah.
You want to, like I said, it's all about having the right boots on the ground, making it happen for you when you're, hundreds of miles away.
Mm-hmm.
So, and yeah, I mean, this guy, very helpful. And you want people on your team who are going to be helpful, not just treating you as another client. So you definitely want that, good relationship with these people. And, but you got to show them that you're serious and that you're there to make business. It's not really like a friendship, but you kind of want to treat it that way because, those are the people who are going to make things happen for you.
Yeah, I'd love to. So I love that one that you're already on to the next while your other property is still being built, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the expected finish date of that property?
So I'm thinking right now, that was in October. He said 2 months. I'm saying anywhere like April and March, which we're comfortable with that because, again, with that second home rider that we do have to abide by.
Oh, so can you explain that real quick? In a short term, abiding by the second.
Yeah, so we got this property under a second home mortgage. So you cannot, with a second home mortgage, just outright turn into investment property because then you would have just got an investment property loan. So at this time, we will have to be the property managers from away, and rent it out ourselves. And we're also going to personally use it ourselves for a little bit before we rent it out. But the closer we are to July, the better, because then that's the closer we are able to hire someone and do it right next to Cape Coral rather than trying to manage it in Charleston.
So do you have plans on moving down there ever, or is it more so?
Yeah, no, just a seed growing into a tree to produce fruit.
Yeah, it's definitely, so the Cape Coral and the Palm Bay, they're definitely buy and holds.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
So, like I said, I love that you're already onto the next property and the next strategy after you've already got one asset in motion, essentially. For your new property, where is it again?
In Palm Bay, Florida.
Palm Bay, Florida. How did you find that location?
So you can also put this one down. Real Wealth Network. This is a platform. An educational platform. They don't do this as often as they used to, but they used to bring on a lot of turnkey providers in several markets. And so you can sign up, it's for free. They email you what their podcast is going to be on and what kind of webinar. Sometimes they bring in property turnkey property providers. And again, it's kind of like a rental retirement, but these are people who are specialized in that specific market. So we ran into this company for the Palm Bay opportunity, and just based on its location, again, another A-class neighborhood, the numbers make sense. A little less cash flow than what we liked on this property, but the fact that it is an A-class neighborhood, the location being right by SpaceX, Port Canaveral, and out right outside Orlando. I mean, this is just a prime location and right along the beach. Hurricane hasn't hit there in 99 years, knock on wood. So hopefully, that is a solid location, and it's a town home in a community, 47 units. We're one of 47 units, and there's an HOA, which is not the best to have because that eats away your cash flow, but we are the members of the HOA, so we decide where that HOA money goes. Your property's taken care of from the exterior. There's a pool that's managed and taken care of as well for your tenants. It controls the investment in the sense of John across the street cannot just jack up his rents or lower his rents, which can ruin the flow of within the rental market in that particular area. So everyone keeps the value of your property up, and it keeps the rents where they need to be. So we thought it was a good opportunity there. And still, I think there's a lot of
there's room for growth over there too.
Right, room for growth. I'm not gonna say appreciation. We did invest in these properties, looking at appreciation, seeing an opportunity for appreciation, definitely. But again, the numbers need to make sense.
The rents have to make sense.
The rents need to make sense. It cash flows. There are going to be good tenants in there, and these are two assets that we're definitely going to hold on to for a long time.
I love this. I love both the methods, because I think, especially as probably know, in New Jersey where I'm at, it's just ridiculous to purchase a home, the prices of homes. So I'm curious, what is, if you don't mind sharing some of the numbers with us, you mentioned 10% down for your first construction, on what do the properties look at? How many bedrooms, what size are they, and kind of what are they going for down there?
Sure. So in Cape Coral, we're looking at 250. We got it for 252. It came out at 232. We were in the process of getting it 232, but it took time, and then we ended up getting 252 because the price would just go up. Now they're selling at 274. These properties are being appraised for 330, 340. So we're talking $80,000-$90,000 of equity there. And that's we're thinking about cash out refinance where we can pull out $30,000 and put that to work. That's a 4-bedroom home, 3-bath. It's about, I think, 1,800 square feet. No, I'm sorry. That's 1,600 square feet. Man, I can't.
How old is the home in Coral, or Cape Coral?
Cape Coral. How old is it?
Yeah, how old or how new?
Oh, it's gonna be a new build.
Oh yeah, it's a new construction.
Oh, I'm sorry. The other one, your second property.
Oh, Palm Bay.
Palm Bay. Sorry.
Yeah,
Palm Bay, same thing.
Yeah,
new construction.
Oh, these are
both new
brand new construction, 4-bedroom, 2 baths for under $300K.
Yeah.
Yes, the one in Palm Bay. Now, Palm Bay is 3 beds, 2.5 bath. That is definitely 1,368 square feet. I was just looking at that today, and that is actually for 220. And that property is going to appraise for 230, 240 when we close on it.
So whoever's, providing you with these opportunities, or whoever's sourcing these, like you mentioned, those 2 resources, they're getting them. Are they purchasing them under market value? How are you getting them under market value?
So all right. So I'm going to go to Cape Coral. Cape Coral is the rent to retirement with the realtor they connect me with. That investment group basically connects with the builder, and it's like, and with that, and the realtor is with rent to retirement. So they go to these builders like, hey, we'll bring you the people, but let's cut them a deal so we can just let's get mass production going here. So that's how they kind of worked out a deal with the builders to bring it, get under market value prices, and have that built-in equity into there. Similar with Palm Bay, just that one particular company has just a great connection with this developer to get it into under market value as well. It's not as much, but still, hey, we'll take $10,000-$20,000 of built-in equity into property.
Yeah, I mean, this is totally new for me because I'm still new in the space too. I just started as a realtor a month ago, if not a month and a half ago. But learning this, I've always been fascinated by real estate. So I decided that, I'm going to get in the game in order to do the things that you guys are doing. So, but this method and the way of going about it, I always wondered how people invested out of state. Like, how do you make that happen? And you guys clearly have figured out how to do that.
Yes. I highly recommend, if anyone's interested in this, read the book Long Distance Real Estate Investing by David Greene. And, if you want to go on down a different route, not buying new construction, if you want to implement the BRRRR, read, buy, rehab, rent, refinance, by David Greene as well. Those two books have taught us so much. And we wouldn't be here talking about this without that.
Definitely helps build that confidence for the out of state.
Right. We have, I mean, I get it. It's a risk, but it's a risk not investing too, the way I see it. And as long as you're educated and you have the right people on your side, it's very doable.
What's your guys' plan, or what's your goal, I should say, long term with everything?
Go ahead, Casey.
Long term?
Yeah.
I would say just building real wealth, being able to retire early and being able to enjoy things in life. And, we have a set goal. We'll see if we make it to that goal. But we definitely want to just keep implementing the BRRRR. So we're starting the BRRRR strategy, and we just want to keep implementing that and keep bouncing off that. And hopefully with the properties we've accumulated now, we can pull equity, when we need to, and just keep it going.
Yeah, when it makes sense to pull out the equity, for sure. And also, we're just one rental at a time. But like Casey said, we're done with new construction because we're not going to scale fast that way. I do want to add that, at first we thought that, that'd be the route, but it takes time to save up, the 20% down for properties. So, going the BRRRR route, we're going to go into the Midwest into cheaper markets. That makes more sense. So we could, produce multiple properties throughout the year as time goes. Our goal for 2022 is to get probably 2 properties under our belt, 2 birds under, but, down the road, I hope that transitions into something more. But yeah, just again, one rental at a time. We're going to probably stick with single family residences, but we're definitely going to be open to multifamily, 2 to 4 units to start. But yeah, buying distressed properties, fixing them up, forcing that, force appreciation, some sweat equity, and pulling majority of the money out. If not, leaving a little bit. If you're investing in lower markets, it's not really, that much that you're leaving in. So, just keep building it up. And the whole thing too, it's all about the numbers too when you're investing in real estate. And, if you can get, high returns, wherever, you're investing, that's what you're looking for, the high returns and good cash flow, and to, protect that asset and keep it going. And eventually, when we plan with the cash flow, we're just going to dump it into reserves until we have, a lot. Our goal is to have tens of thousands of dollars just sitting there for a rainy day, because you just want to protect the asset. If something goes wrong in that market, you want to be able to breathe for, however many months it takes for it to, recover. So, but yeah, that's what, where we plan to be eventually down the road, retired and enjoy our kids and watching them grow, not be a slave to our jobs, and enjoy our rental income when the time's appropriate.
Love that. And you made an interesting comment there, not be a slave to your jobs. And your title, your handle is Wealth Together. And so that leads me to my one of my last questions, which is, why real estate? Why did you guys choose to get started investing in real estate when, there's the stock market, there's, other ways of investing your money, starting a business? Why did you guys choose real estate? And here's the second part of the question is, like, why do you feel that it's you know, as you mentioned, the way you're going to choose to build wealth together?
Well, I feel like we didn't know going into this, as I said before, like we were looking at a vacation home, and through that like couple hours of research, you could just see a light and a fire in Miles and I's eyes. And luckily enough, like we just have just such a burning passion for real estate more than anything else that, you know, we've shared in our lives so far. Real estate, we just there's a fire for us, and that's really why we chose real estate. We didn't know it was going to happen. Just hearing more testimonies, reading books, and just we talk about real estate all day long, all night long, up until we go to sleep. So that's why we chose it. We just can't get enough of it.
Right. And also, you know, I started investing in like in the stock market, dividends, stocks. So and try to build, you know, my retirement that way to get passive income. You know, that's what I was attracted to. So I was like, how can I create passive income, right? So I can have, you know, another stream of income. And that just wasn't doing it for me. One, I didn't make sense to me. Two, I was reading the books and falling asleep. I couldn't get behind it. But once we learned about real estate, that you can buy a property, have your tenant pay it down for you, and you have tax benefits behind it, and you can cash flow. That's, I mean, yeah, just like, why didn't I wish I knew about this sooner. Yeah. You know, I mean, instead of, you know, doing what we were doing. I mean, I wish we would have we've done a couple different things. And there's so many different things you can do in real estate and make and build your wealth in real estate. Or just even, you know, produce an extra stream of income. You know, nothing crazy. You don't have to try to make it to the top or anything like that. You know, we're trying to be modest, and we're gonna right, and we just want to get to a point where we can be comfortable, be financially free, and, you know, do the things we want, and, you know, live a happy life and not feel like we need to work. And real estate is definitely the best avenue to do it, hands down. I mean, yeah, just a combination of those, the appreciation in the house, which, you know, not guaranteed, but that's icing on the cake. The cash flow, where if you're investing in it, the numbers are going to make sense. And we like to look at for 10%, over 10% cash on cash return. You got the tax benefits and then the principal pay down. So even if you're not even cash flowing, so that's, you know, the whole thing about the Palm Bay home. Yeah, we're cash flowing 5% in an A-class neighborhood, but that tenant's paying off the mortgage. So your return is not just 5%. You know, at the end of the day, when you pay your taxes and at the end of the year, you know, we're going to be over 10%. And the stock market is what, you know, 8 to 10%. So, you know, it's just, I feel like our niche. Right. Yeah. And even if the market goes down, right, there, you know, if there's a crash, you know, as long as your numbers make sense and it was a smart buy, you're going to be protected, as long as you're not in a position where you're looking to sell. So as long as you have the right reserves, okay, that when things go down, you know, you can keep that asset alive. It's about keeping that asset alive. It's not about enjoying your cash flow. You know, build up
long-term wealth.
Right.
That's where it comes into tie.
It's a slow, steady game. You know, we're not really looking to retire tomorrow. Yeah. And but I think with real estate, we will.
Oh, you cut out that last part. Can you say it again?
I said invest.
Real estate, we'll get there.
Yeah, with real estate, I think we'll get to, you know, our retirement goals a lot sooner than any other asset class.
Yeah, I think what you guys just kind of covered is a lot of two parts. A lot of people don't realize the tax benefits that come with owning, you know, an investment property, and the depreciation that comes along with that, and the write-offs, and also, you know, the people are always going to need a place to live, and the value in having an asset that really doesn't go out of style, if you will. It's like you said before, it's really a no-brainer to get involved in real estate.
Right. It really is. I mean, and also like you said, you know, there's always going to be someone who needs to rent. The rental demand right now, especially if you're picking the right markets in Florida, in the Midwest. It's just, they're so strong. They cannot build houses fast enough. It just makes sense. And the people are calling for like a crash and whatnot right now. I mean, if people need a home, right, they're, I don't think there's going to be anything dramatic. And the lending, I mean, there is guidelines to be approved for a loan. So it's a lot stronger than what it was in 2008. It seems like in 2008, I mean, I was in 8th grade. You were just in high school, right? I mean, you were almost in your senior year at that time. But that was, I mean, I heard they were just giving out mortgages like it was candy. If you had a beating, pulse, they're giving you a mortgage. But nowadays, there's a lot. So, you can't go in there. Not everyone can just get a loan. So, for anyone who's thinking about investing in real estate, definitely get yourself acquainted with what the lenders want to see.
And so that's a good point. Have you guys seen the what's it called? The big what's it called? The movie.
Yeah. The Big
Short.
Yes. Yeah. Someone did recommend that to me. I did want to watch it, and I just never got to it. But I am gonna watch that movie.
It's a great real estate movie. Inadvertently, obviously, it's about real estate, but it's more about the mortgage crisis, and it's just got so many great actors in it. But it touches on that whole housing crisis. And like you said, it is a lot, more. There are stricter standards now for people to get a mortgage and whatnot. For you guys, were there any things that you've done that you did in the process that you would do differently now if you were to redo it, or are you kind of, happy with the way you're going about it?
In what sense?
And just anything, in any sense of the whole process. Whether it was, choosing a location or, going a certain direction.
I'll tell you this. I think right now where we're at, how we invested is definitely where we want to be, because I think the 2 new construction properties they're just good because of the low maintenance, low vacancy. It's brand new. What can structurally go wrong with that property? It's backed up by warranties, X, Y, and Z. What we would do differently is not move into a single family home, but into a duplex and rent out the other half, having that person pay part of the mortgage or all of the mortgage. We did make a post about that on our page as well, explaining that how you can get into a duplex 3.5% down, okay? And you can have your tenant really pay most of that bill. And you're probably going to be living under the rents of that market that you're in. So it's like, I think we would have liked to go down that route, but we learned about that already when we purchased our single family home. And I also want to add, because one of my really good friends really just pulled this off in Bergen County. Bought a house for $300,000 with 3.5% down. And then with creative financing, he got a personal loan, a couple of interest-free credit cards, and and then another 0% loan for like 12 months, right? He put $100,000 of a rehab into his property. $300,000, $100,000 rehab. That property appraised for 8 months later, appraised for $610,000. All in, so $300,000. He's in for it. 3.5% of that is, God, was that like $9,000, $10,000? Call it $10,000, right? You're lending money for $100,000. Okay, you're paying into that loan, right? But the interest-free credit cards, you're paying 1% of the balance. So, that's not that bad. That's you're borrowing free money. And I forget how much of the personal loan, but I'm sure that wasn't anything to break his bank. But now he's in a position. He cashed out refinance. His house is appraised for $610,000. He paid off that debt to the personal bank, and now this man is in over a $500,000 home in Bergen County. So if we were living in Bergen County, that is definitely, if you're a handyman, because he also did a lot of the work himself. He's a handyman. So if you're a handyman, you want to get into a property and not pay those $500,000 homes like I see in New Milford right now, just dig deep enough you know, put yourself to work, get creative, and make it happen.
Yeah, I definitely think that's something that we would have tried maybe going into our first home is putting some work into our house and that sweat equity so that we can kind of play with that and work with that.
Right. That too, you know, maybe going into a fixer-upper.
So you guys own a house. Now you have 2 properties being built, rental properties. You know, you have plans for world domination and early retirement. What else? What else do you guys like to do when you're not doing real estate, when you're not, you know, working your full-time jobs as an occupational therapist and a radiologist, radiology technologist student? What do you guys like to do on your spare time?
Ooh.
If there is any.
Sleep.
So yeah,
Catch up on sleep.
definitely. Yeah. You know, she's busy in school, studying a lot. You know, I'm working a lot.
Yeah, it definitely takes like what we're doing right now. It's a sacrifice right now. The amount of hours that we have to put into our dreams and goals, and then you know, doing your day-to-days, either working or going to school. So it leaves you very limited with time. I know we both like to work out, and that's kind of like our stress relief. That's what keeps us sane.
Netflix and chill in bed. You know, I'd say it's
anything to relax.
We're definitely couch potatoes a little bit.
Yeah.
But you know, we're also living a very we're trying to live the lower means. We're not going out. We're trying to save as much as we can. So you know, we try to just, you know, be active, do the best we can. I like to play Xbox. Definitely don't play Xbox as much as I used to because of real estate. I mean, I just put my time, my life into real estate. I can't learn enough. You know, there's a lot of information out there, and you know, I just feel like in every time, just this podcast or just another podcast, I mean, everyone just has a different strategy, and you just can continue to learn. So yeah, but leisure wise, she tells me we need to like chill, take a break.
Sometimes fun.
But but we do enjoy, we have 2 dogs, playing with them. We used to go out on the boat, but that's a liability. So we gave up at the boat club. We used to love going out on the harbor in Charleston and enjoying those days. But, now, I think we're going to be spending a little more time at the beach, being outdoorsy and, enjoying the views that South Carolina has to offer. And it's definitely a beautiful location where we're at. So there's plenty of things to do. We love going up and down, downtown. It has a nice little strip on King Street, and Broad Street. So we're foodie eaters too. So we love going out to eat and eating something tasty, but we do limit that as well.
Awesome. I have so many more questions. I want to be mindful of the time. I'm also interested in the fees associated with using the groups like Rent for Retirement and the other one you mentioned. Like how accessible do they make it for people out of state? Is it a percentage of the purchase price? Like, how do the fees come into play?
So I can speak more of this for sure. The Rent to Retirement, Real Wealth Network are completely free. They bring you, so Rent to Retirement is going to show you properties that they already have rehabbed and they're ready to go. So $150,000 turnkey property, that's it. There's no fees. You're going to pay to Rent to Retirement. They're going to make their money on that rehab that they did, and basically on the rehab they did.
But do you also have a lawyer too representing you? Sorry to jump in.
Or for a realtor, I mean, you probably can bring your own realtor to that table.
No, I'm sorry, a lawyer, attorney.
A lawyer? Do we currently have a lawyer?
Yeah. Do you have an attorney representing you in these properties, like when you're doing these closings, or like how turnkey is it? Like.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So for the Cape Coral, like that, we close like sitting in South Carolina. So you send it to a titling company, the lawyers at that titling company, and getting it done. So we're and we had someone come to our house to sign these papers
and go through the documents.
Right. So we had to get them all notarized, and then they mail it to the titling company in Florida, and then they handle the legalities of it.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, you really can do all this from just sitting at your house, turnkey. And you know, like I said, if you have the right people in place, you literally don't really have to lift a finger besides do your own due diligence and making sure those numbers work and those people are the right people on your team.
That's amazing. Okay, so I think you just kind of not only gave me some clarity, but anyone who's listening to this, I hope you realize that, you know, investing in real estate isn't as complicated as one might think is to get started. If you've purchased a home before, you already are familiar with the process. And now Casey and Miles have outlined a whole way to do it out of state through these resources. So, you know, I guess last and final questions. Does anyone have questions for Miles and Casey that's watching right now? Gerardo, welcome. Toast, whatever.
But I definitely want to let everyone know, you know, whoever has been watching will watch later. You know, feel free to reach out to us. Love talking about real estate. I know we spoke about a lot. We're jumping all over the place, but if something wasn't clear. If you want us to elaborate about anything, I'd be so happy to do so. Just, you know, jump into the DMs, just give you my number. We get on the phone, we can text, whatever you guys want.
Love that. I think that's one thing I love about real estate too, is everyone's so willing to help each other. Like when it comes to investing, it's like these communities are so deep and like everyone's just got such a big heart.
Yes. Exactly. Biggerpockets.com. I mean, yeah, I'm on there. You know, get involved in the forums. I mean, there's just tons of forums.
They also offer Bigger Pockets. You go into a meeting. If you sign in, they'll tell you like in your area where there's group meetings, and you just connect with everyone. Whether it's like people who are investing themselves. Sometimes people bring their realtors with them.
Yep.
And so they can hand their cards around. Either people who do like home fixes as well will show up there.
Right.
And just basically you're just constantly marketing and communicating in that mind frame.
Right.
I love that too. I'm definitely going to be, as soon as we're jumping off, I'm going on retire.com. So let's see what's out there.
Yeah, man. And you know, just to, you know, look at Indianapolis, look at, I definitely love Indy. What other markets they had? Sometimes they have Alabama properties. Those are good. It's just depending on what you like. But you know, sometimes they have some in Oklahoma City. But I think, you know, Indianapolis is definitely a very attractive one.
Yeah, there's a guy I follow. His name is Invest with Ace. You guys follow him?
Yes, definitely.
I think big on Indiana too.
Yeah. Yeah, he's crushing it, that guy. Yeah. He's a little all over the place, but yeah, he's built into something phenomenal.
Yes.
So, but yeah, man. Say that again.
I said there's so much out there. Real estate anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
Your business, you know, it's everywhere, so you can't really go wrong.
Yeah, and you know, like, you know, every market is different for everyone. You know what I mean? Like, just because the Florida market might work for anyone, but you know, a different market might work for you, that might not work for us. So just look at all the markets, look at the prices, look at the rents, and like I said, the numbers need to make sense to you.
Yeah, I feel like initially it was very overwhelming. Like when we first started, like, let's do investments and in real estate, and initially it was just, we just didn't even know where to go. We were jumping all over the place. We're like, let's do this, let's do that, let's do this. And we kept hearing like, pick something that you feel passionate about and comfortable and safe.
Right.
And just ride with that until you get a deal or two. Like just ride that train and then go into something different after you've built your confidence. So definitely initially it was, you know, what do we do? Because there's literally so much you could do with real estate.
Great point. Yeah, definitely a great point. I mean, especially me. I mean, I got ADHD, so I'm all over the place all the time. But definitely take your time understanding what you want. Okay, find that market that's going to make sense for you, and stick in there and grab a few properties in that market. You know, I think that's the one thing that we probably, you know, I don't want to do again is buy one property here, buy one property here in different markets. You know, build a little bit in that market and then transfer out to another market.
Love that. I think that's a great way to kind of like, you know, send everyone off, dominate your market, figure out where you want to be, and really, you know, put your boots on the ground there, so to speak.
Absolutely.
You guys have any finals? I know that you just dropped so many gems, I'm gonna keep it up there so people can watch. But yeah, if you guys have any last things, appreciate you guys so much. This was great.
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity. You know, we got to, you know,
we love
show our face and talk about this, not just be behind a computer and be posting all the time. So really appreciate this opportunity, Will. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Likewise, guys. And, you know, maybe we'll do a follow-up in a couple months, you know, see where you guys are at. I'd love to, if you guys have plans to go and checking out those properties at any time in the future, and, you know, seeing what, you know, checking up on the construction or whatever when it's done.
Yeah, so when we're coming home from our honeymoon, we actually hit up Palm Bay because we came from Miami and then coming up from Miami, Palm Bay is along the East Coast. So we stopped in Palm Bay just to look at like the land and like the neighborhood and be like, okay, this is this is a good neighborhood. But Cape Coral, as soon as it's built, we are going to make our trip down there and spend some time there.
Yeah, spend some time out there.
Yep, maybe golf a little bit, but because that's like, you know, golf galore down there. But yeah, definitely going to check out those properties. Probably both of them on the way home. We'll hit up Palm Bay because Palm Bay is going to actually is going to be ready to be rented in like April, May. So they're both going to be similar close dates. So awesome. Definitely excited to check them out.
Well, you know, congratulations on that. I think that's freaking awesome. You have 2 properties, brand new constructions, nonetheless. That's amazing, guys. You guys should be really proud of, you know, everything you built together thus far. And, you know,
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. What's your plans? If you have a second, you've really made a big change, and like I told you, I'm really excited to see that, you know, you're in the real estate space, and it seems like you're doing a little bit of everything. Now you're a realtor, so, you know, tell us about what you're doing.
I'm getting flipped here. Yeah, man. So it's funny because I was always interested in real estate. I just didn't really know, you know, I guess I was more so dreaming, you know, just about the investment properties that I wanted to do. Again, like you guys, it always started with like a vacation. I'm really big into vacation homes, and I went to school in the Poconos at East Stroudsburg. Shout out ESU. But I just love looking at real estate out there because it's way cheaper and you get way more land and you're getting newer constructions, or you're getting really old, well-kept properties, or you have really distressed properties that are really, really cheap. And it's just like nothing like you see in Bergen County. Like Bergen County is this like pristine like area where it's like you're not really it's hard to find deals, let's put it that way.
Right.
And everything is super inflated. So that's just what you get for living so close to New York City.
That's right.
So I just was always like on realtor.com, scoping out properties like lake houses and things that I'd always want. But then it came to a point where this year I was working at a school, and the school had let me go when the pandemic hit. And so for like a year and a half, I was, you know, just focusing on Hype Light, building that nonprofit organization, trying to really develop some revenue streams for that. In the process, kind of switched to fully remote, offering programming for high schools and colleges that is in the evenings. And then I found like I had a lot of time during the day, and I also found that like I didn't want to go back to working in a school. I didn't want to sit in a classroom, and as much as I love working with young people, I found that I was able to do that now in the evening and still fill that need. So yeah, I decided to start taking real estate classes with no goal that was other than just I wanted to be. That's how I saw myself getting into the industry and just getting around people and around the conversation around real estate. So I never had, you know, aspirations or goals of being, you know, a real estate agent. I never really saw myself being a realtor. I always thought being a realtor was cheesy. I always thought like I see these guys on the billboards, and I thought I never want to be a guy.
Totally.
But, you know, I got connected with a brokerage in New Milford who was started by Jay Levine, who's also a New Milford guy. And I just love the energy that he brought to the business and what he was doing with his group. And I told him I was in school, and he's like, just come, shadow, see what's going on with us. And I went to like an open house, and I was around it, and I was in it. I was fully immersed, and I was like, this is it. Like, this is what I want to do. Like, I'm already doing it for shits and giggle in my office at home, like on realtor.com. Like, why don't I just do it for people and, do it as, a career. So
absolutely, man.
That's kind of what brought me here.
I think you definitely had the right personality for it, man. I think you're really gonna succeed. And to add, you said I was always into real estate, but I didn't think I'd ever go into it. But what, and that's investing, being a realtor. Because if I wasn't for my student loans, man, I'd be a realtor, right? It's an awesome space, and you just said I'm just gonna get up and do it. And I think you have a lot of fortune coming your way, man. And I wish you the best of luck. Pray for success for you, and but I think it's only going to go up for you from here.
Have you had any like ideas yet, like in regards to like investments, real estate investments, or do you have any plans for it? Like,
yeah. So one, thanks, Miles. Appreciate that. That really means a lot. And yeah, I don't want to talk too soon, but I got some things in the works. I got a close friend from ESU with some other buddies. We're looking at, he's out in Milwaukee. He's killing it. He's got a bunch of properties there. He started off in PA. And so we're looking to put together, a little investment company to start doing things as a group out there while we have his boots on the ground, as a management, for those properties. Aside from that, I decided, like, as much as I want to do stuff in Bergen County, it doesn't make sense right now. It really does not make sense. And it would be more of a shiny object, like, hey, I got an investment property here, but the numbers just don't add up, and it's better and more economically sound to be out of state, like you guys. So
you got it, man.
Yeah, you got some really good goals going.
That's exactly it.
That's really awesome.
Down the road, like, that's what I'm saying. The people who are investing in New Jersey, they got money, right? And they're putting their money there for depreciation. They're waiting for New Jersey. I mean, New Jersey's on its way to looking like California, and but that's a different level. Don't try to keep up with those people. Do what makes sense to you. You're going to Milwaukee. We were looking at that market too. That's awesome. Awesome entry level, little lower entry level market, and you can make things happen there.
Yeah.
And then one day, investing in a market like that, building your portfolio that way, that's what's going to get you to investing in markets like in California, in New Jersey, in New York. So but right now, as a beginner, like ourselves, I think that's exactly the route to go, to a market that makes sense.
We're excited to see your
plans. Man,
plans.
definitely keep me updated on that. Reach out if you got the boots running. I'd definitely love to hear.
Yeah,
but I know Milwaukee's a great market. I know things are flying up there, so I'm really excited to hear, how you guys do up there in Milwaukee.
Appreciate it. We'll definitely do a follow-up then, because I'd love to introduce you guys to my buddies. So
yes, please.
Again, thank you guys. This has been great. Well together. Hey, man. Thank you. I'm watching you guys. You guys are killing it, so I'm happy for you too. So
appreciate it, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Have a good night, guys.
Yes,
you too, Will.
Thanks.
Take care, man.